At a very macro level, there's really three, although there's many machinations, there's really three ways movies get funded, right? There's wealthy individuals, billionaires, or a group of rich people get together and somebody knows them and they make usually a purely creative decision based on relationship and they want to be in the film business. The two other predominant ways are really end user driven, either studios or mini majors who have the capital and the distribution in place, they're one-stop shops. You come to us, we usually torture you through the development process and packaging process and budgeting process, but have the ability to write that one check and make a movie go. I think the sort of the predominant way that movies have traditionally gotten made is sort of a combination of pre-sales, soft money, estimates, and banking. My perspective on this business has always been one thing. The least scarce resource in our business actually is capital. And as bleak as it sounds today, it is still the least scarce resource in the business. The most scarce resource in the business is projects that warrant or that can attract that capital.
Ben, do you want to just add on that first level of getting money? Do you see other upsides? And
I agree. I think what Joe said is spot on. Independent film business is about ideas and creativity, but the reality is you have to provide. You are the masters of your own fate if you can create a film that has marketable elements, either the story or the people involved. It's a virtuous cycle if you provide a product so that people can make money, because that allows them to reinvest and to create a bigger platform for you. So you have to help them.
Well, Linda, you do a lot of finding financing for independent films. Do you have any thoughts on how good or bad it is right now?
I think it's terrible. You know, there are a lot of places I agree with Joe that there is money out there, but for people who are not in the business, who are first-time filmmakers, or people who are just beginning that process, it's very difficult to find that money. I mean, if you have a rich uncle, obviously it makes it easier. And I think if you look at the history of people who have been able to make movies, many times they come from money, which is unfortunate. There are various organizations out there that support people who are coming in, like Sundance or, you know, Find or the IFP, that will help people kind of access some of that independent money or studio money, or mini major money, but it's very difficult.
Brian, just taking that course for a minute, when you're at CA and you get calls about people who have an independent film and they're basically at the first stage saying, can you help us find independent financing? Tell us what your kind of dream call is. What elements does that project have, and what's the worst call where it's not going to happen but you have to be nice?
It's really hard. There's a lot of product that comes to me all the time and to my colleagues, and it's overwhelming. And a lot of the time I have to rely, I know that I'm sure you, Joe, rely on filters, and Linda and Ben, and I rely on them too. It's hard for me, the number of cold calls that I get and the number of scripts I get in a week is impossible to sift through. And so a lot of the time I rely on producers, I rely on guys like Ron who call and say, we have this great guy and we just discovered him and it's amazing, and that will certainly go to the top of the pile. I don't think there's the hardest thing for me is when someone says, I have a great script and I haven't done any work and I don't have anybody else involved, and you just have to read it. Unless the pitch is so profoundly compelling, unless the pitch is so profoundly commercial that it's obvious, it's really hard to dive in and make that one a priority. And so we really, I think the important thing is, and I think it's important for all you guys to think about is how do you get those filters to pay attention? And sometimes it's not us, right? It's not me, because at the end of the day, I've got 50 scripts that come in a week, and I'm not going to get to them all. Now, there are going to be other filters that have less, right? And so you have to decide sort of what your entree into the business is, and who you're going to trust and rely on, and who's going to help you get through those first levels to be the filter that sort of stands on the soapbox for you.